Hello guys, welcome to LawPutra YouTube channel. I am Bhavna here. Today we are gonna discussing about the topic detailed analysis on 42nd and 44th Amendment of Indian Constitution. Okay, let's get into the topic. The 42nd Amendment Act is one of the most important amendment in Indian Constitution. The charges were taken in consonance with the suggestions made by Swarna Singh Committee. Okay, remember Swarna Singh Committee, and the 42nd Amendment Act was enacted by the Indian National Congress headed by Mrs. Indira Gandhi. This amendment includes alterations made to the preamble, 40th provision, 7th schedule, and 40 new articles were introduced into the constitution. Okay, the amendment includes alterations like there were alterations made in the 42nd amendment were into preamble, 40th provision, 7th schedule, and 40 new articles were introduced into Indian constitution. Okay, and let's see what are these alterations made in the preamble and the other things. Okay, let's discuss with each point. The 42nd Amendment Act attempted to alter the basic structure of Indian Constitution. Okay, the 42nd Amendment Act attempted to alter the basic structure of Indian Constitution. This amendment is also called as mini constitution. Remember, 42nd Amendment is also called as mini constitution. The importance of this amendment is to reduce the court powers. The importance is to reduce the court powers, and the amendment brought by the parliament can't be questioned. Okay, as this is the amendment brought by the parliament, so this can't be questioned. And let's see, as we discussed, the changes were made in preamble, 40th schedule, and 40th provision, 7th schedule, etc. Let's see those changes. Three new words in preamble, socialist, secular, and integrity were added. Socialist, secular, and integrity were added into preamble as the in 42nd amendment, and the words unity of nation were changed into unity and integrity of the nation. Like unity of nation was substituted into unity and integrity of the nation. Okay, this is about preamble. Moving to the 7th schedule. In 7th schedule, 5 subjects were transferred from state list to concurrent list. Like 5 subjects were transferred from state list to concurrent list. The powers of state government transferred to central government. Okay, the powers of state government were transferred to central government. In parliament, the parliament made by the president bound to advise the cabinet. Like the 42nd amendment made president bound towards the advice of cabinet. It made a president to bound towards the advice of cabinet, and the 42nd amendment allowed central to deploy the central forces in state to deal with the conflict situations of law and order. As per the article 257A, 42nd amendment allowed central to deploy central forces in state to deal with the conflicting situations of law and order. Okay, and moving to the government special discretionary power, like government issued a special discretionary power to the Speaker of Lok Sabha and Prime Minister. Under Article 329A, a special provision, like the government had a special discretionary power to the Speaker of Lok Sabha and Prime Minister. Moving to the 4th point, directive principles were given precedence over fundamental rights. Okay, remember, directive principles were given precedence over fundamental rights. And as per the 42nd amendment, any law moved to this effect by the parliament was to kept beyond the scope of judicial review by the court. It is to kept beyond the judicial review by the court. Okay, the 42nd amendment made to kept beyond the scope of judicial review by the court. Okay, moving to the next, judicial powers of high court. Like judicial powers of high court were like curtailed the judicial review powers to the high court. It curtailed the judicial review powers to the high court. And moving to article 323A and article 323B under part 14A, like it added the entitled as tribunals dealing with administrative matters and tribunals for other matters. Under part 14A, article 323A and 323B added entitled as tribunals dealing with administrative matters and tribunals dealing with other matters. Okay, and moving to directive principles of state policy, article 39, article 39A, article 43A, and article 49 48A also were added. Like, these articles were added into directive principles of state policies. The articles were Article 39, Article 39A, Article 43A, and Article 48A were added into directive principles of state policy in Indian Constitution under 42nd Amendment Act. Article 31D added in Constitution, that this article says prohibition of anti-national activities. Article 31D were added in the Constitution, which says about anti-national activities, prohibition of anti-national activities. Okay, this was added under 42nd Amendment. Okay, so this is about the 42nd Amendment of Indian Constitution. The important top points were, the 42nd Amendment was called as mini constitution, and it was attempted to alter the basic structure of Indian Constitution. So 42nd Amendment was attempted to alter the basic structure of Indian Constitution, and it was enacted by the Indian National Congress under Mrs. Indira Gandhi. So let's see about 44th Amendment. As we learned about 42nd Amendment, let's see what about 44th Amendment says. It was, the 44th Amendment was brought to remove the changes made in 42nd Amendment. Okay, remember, this is important point. The 44th Amendment came to remove the changes made in 42nd Amendment. Okay, the changes were, firstly, to reduce the power of Parliament to control fundamental rights. Okay, the first point in 44th Amendment is to reduce the powers of Parliament that control fundamental rights. And secondly, the grounds of Article 352, internal disturbance, was renamed to armed rebellion. Okay, remember, internal disturbance was renamed into armed rebellion under Article 352. And thirdly, the emergency approval system changed from simple to special majority. Okay, the emergency approval system was changed from simple to special majority under 44th Amendment. Okay, and thirdly, fourth point, by removing 38th Amendment, 44th Amendment says President on which ground declares emergency, those grounds should have a judicial review. And under 44th Amendment, which says President on which ground declares emergency, those grounds should have a judicial review. Therefore, 44th Amendment says about there should be a judicial review on which grounds the emergency should declare. Okay, and moving to the next point, removed right to property from list of fundamental rights and made it a legal right. Okay, from it made removal of right to property from the fundamental rights, and it was kept in a legal rights. Okay, the right to property was removed from the fundamental rights and kept in a legal rights. Okay, moving to the next point, Article 226 was amended to restore the High Court their powers to issue writs for any other purpose beside the enforcement of fundamental rights. Okay, the High Court restored its powers to enable writs. Okay, or the power to issue writs under Article 226 for any other purpose beside the enforcement of fundamental rights. Okay, there is a power to issue writs under which is restored under 44th Amendment under Article 226 besides the enforcement of fundamental rights. Okay, moving to the next point, under Article 44th Amendment added one more directive principle which require the state to minimize inequalities of income, status, facilities and opportunities under Article 38. Okay, under 44th Amendment it added one more directive principles which requires the state to minimize inequalities in income, status, facilities and opportunities under Article 38. And the 44th Amendment Act 1978 introduced a new provision to put restraint on the power of Parliament to extend a proclamation of President's rule beyond 1 year. Okay, it put a restraint order on power of Parliament to extend the proclamation of President's rule beyond 1 year. Thus, it provided that beyond 1 year, the President rule can be extended to 6 months. Okay, from 1 year it can be extended to 6 months at a time only when the conditions are fulfilled. Okay, under 44th Amendment, the President rule can be extended from 1 year and to extra 6 months when the conditions are fulfilled under 44th Amendment. Okay, this is all about 44th Amendment. The main point was the 44th Amendment was formed to make change in the 42nd Amendment. Okay, and the points we have discussed earlier in the 44th Amendment. This is all about 42nd and 44th Amendment. I hope you all clear with it. If you have any queries, please leave it in the comment section. This is all about 42nd and 44th Amendment of Indian Constitution. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you like the video, please do like, share, comment and subscribe to LawPutra YouTube channel. Thank you.